Hello, and welcome back to our Awakening Intuition video series, where we pull oracle cards every month from my decks Awakening Intuition and Grief, Grace, and Healing. Today we're pulling cards for September 2024, and we're going to pull 3 cards from these decks, and we're also going to do a synchronicity flip at the end of the video, so you'll get 4 messages. But right now we're going to ask you to choose one message in particular that might really be powerful for you for the month of September. So you can use your intuition to do this. This is our intuition test, and there's a few ways that your intuition might tell you which card is going to be most powerful for you. So again, we'll pull 3 cards, and right now I'll ask you to ask your intuition to pick a number, 1, 2, or 3. You might hear a gentle voice in your mind saying the number 1. That is the psychic pathway of clairaudience. You might see a visual image in your mind's eye. That is the psychic pathway of clairvoyance. And you might see an image of the number 2. Another way your intuition might give you the card that will be most relevant for you in September is energetically. Every time I say those numbers 1, 2, and 3, you might just really feel pulled energetically to that number 3, and your whole energy body gets tingly, gets alive, everything feels more palpable. So take a moment and pause the video if you need to. Pick your number now with your intuition, and it might be that more than one card resonates for you as the month goes on. Also, another thing I wanted to remind you of is my Spiritual Author Academy. So if you are a spiritual author or you'd like to be a spiritual author, 2 of my friends and myself, they're also best-selling authors. We are offering 5 days of classes. This is online, and if you can't make it right when the classes are happening live, you can come back and watch the recordings and even access the chat afterwards. So Spiritual Author Academy, that starts October 16th through 20th. And if you get your card now, you get a little bit of an early bird discount. So if you get your, I say get your card, get your ticket. I'm thinking about cards right now. If you get your ticket to Spiritual Author Academy before the 9th of September, you get a little bit of a discount with our early bird special. Okay, so grab your number with your intuition and we will get started pulling cards. And first we're going to pull from my deck, Awakening Intuition, and I am so excited because this is back in stock. Back in stock. It has been out of stock for 4 long months on Amazon US and then Amazon Canada. So if you've been waiting to get this or you want to gift it to someone, back in stock on Amazon, still in stock at barnesandnoble.com, local booksellers, however you like to get your decks. So we'll just unbox it. And as you know, this deck got so... There we go. This deck got so popular so quickly. That's why it was out of stock and we had to reprint it. And it comes in this lovely velour velveteen little pouch. So I'm going to show you my shuffling method, and if you watch these videos regularly, you're probably already familiar with it, but you might see a bunch of cards kind of flying out as I shuffle. And remember, I'm just looking for one card to really stick up, to really stick the landing and let me know that it wants to be picked. So whatever shuffling method works for you is the one you should use, and there are so many. But this is mine, and first we will just warm the cards up here between our palms with our palm chakras, and we're asking for a message, 2 messages from this deck that will really, really resonate with people watching the video. Okay, get my trusty glasses on, and now you'll see the cards flying a bit. So we are looking again for one to jump up and really just stick the landing for us. I have to shuffle a little bit here. There we go. So we got one. It stuck up a couple inches above the others. It was just a group of cards, so I always take the first card when that happens. I love this message. We haven't pulled it in a while. So if you chose card number 1, this is your card. And now we're going to pick card number 2. Again, we're going to shuffle. We might see a lot of cards flying around. We'll look for one to really stick up. Woo! That's so fun. That is what I call a jumper card. It's super, super fun. It's when a card kind of jumps out or flips out of the deck and says, hey, 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 I really want to be picked. It was a single card, perfect jumper card. So if you pick card number 2, wow, you got a powerful message. A jumper card is always a powerful message. So we'll put these cards away. And now we will unbox Grief, Grace, and Healing. This is a lovely soft energy deck. If you're grieving the loss of someone in your life, whether they passed over or they just left your life, if you're grieving any kind of loss, it could be a role or responsibility you had that's changing, a friendship that is going out of season. Whenever you're feeling a sense of loss, it can even be something you wanted to, you moved into a new home and you're so happy, but you miss the place you lived before. This is a lovely deck to work with, and we'll take it out of its box. It also comes with a little lovely velvet pouch there. We'll get these cards out, and I've really gotten, this deck is so popular. In this deck, it's interesting. People that get it seem to just really, really love the messages and find them really valuable for the grief journey or transformation journey they're on. There are 3 suits to this deck. So there's grief. That's that force that comes in almost to support us when we've had a loss, to kind of cocoon us. Then there's the grace set. Grace is that benevolent spiritual force that comes in to help us and do what it can to help soften the blows that happen in life and help give us some blessings when that happens. And then the healing deck is all about the transformation that happens when we're going through a grief cycle, that we will emerge on the other side different, but possibly even more whole and in some way healed. All right, so I do a different shuffling method with this just to show you another method. I still warm this up with my palm chakras and ask for a message that will resonate with everyone. And then instead of shuffling in that fancy way and letting the cards fly around, I simply, and this kind of fits this deck that is softer, I simply let it open where it wants to open. And it's funny, I could feel it wanted to open at the very bottom of the deck. We've pulled this card before recently, so this might really be something that's in the air for people right now. Okay, so you've got your cards 1, 2, and 3, and if you picked card number 1, you picked consult someone else. We all have intuitive blind spots. No single person can intuitively understand a situation from every angle. Gain fresh insights about old, stubborn, or frustrating issues by seeking advice from others with sensitive intuition. Also seek out professionals with practical experience and advanced knowledge specifically pertaining to an issue. Ask for help. Okay, so if you picked card number 1, you picked consult someone else. Really go back and listen to me talk about that card. I think, again, I'm being told clairaudiently to really pay attention to the part of the card that says, we all have intuitive blind spots. So probably if you're watching this video, you are very sensitive to energy and emotions around you. You are probably naturally very intuitive. But even as wise as you are, we've all got blind spots. So some of you, especially the people that chose card number 1, it might be that in September you need to get some kind of little tune-up done, I'm hearing, on your home, on your body, with your attitude, with the way you're approaching something. Ask other people for advice and stay really open, whether it's an expert in their field or a friend. Stay really open to how other people do things. I'm hearing how other people operate in their lives in certain situations. That could be very valuable, because when you listen with your intuition to what they're saying, your spidey sense might really pick up on something that they say about their advice, what they suggest, or how they roll through the world that's going to be very helpful for you. All right, now if you chose card number 2, you chose Practice Non-Judgment for Clearer Intuition, and I will read this card to you. Practice non-judgment for clearer intuition. Having strong emotions and opinions about others is natural, yet intuition is best channeled through an open mind and a calm heart. If you've formed an exclusionary, fixed judgment about a person or situation, consult someone intuitive and objective. Engage neutrality to avoid narrowing your interpretations. Discern other layers of truth. So if you picked card number 2, you picked practice non-judgment for clearer intuition. It's really interesting. There's such a theme here about being neutral and asking other people, being open to other people's opinions seems to be a theme for September, whether you picked card number 1 or card number 2. Being open to how they view life, their perspectives, either allowing them to have their perspective and how they roll through life, or even if you picked card number 1, kind of saying, maybe there's a nugget of truth or wisdom in how this person is rolling through life or approaching things that would be useful for me. Especially if you picked card number 2, I hear whenever in the month of September you come up a little bit of conflict. Whether it's conflict with another person, with a group of people, or even inner conflict, where you're kind of feeling a little judgmental about yourself. Try and stay in that place of neutrality where you're more observing things and you're not trying to make something right or wrong. You're more in the gray area, even with yourself. So whether that conflict is with someone else or it's just an internal conflict. All right, now we're going to look at card number 3, which is our card from Grief, Grace, and Healing. So if you picked card number 3, you picked Recognize New Growth. In nature, when something dies, in time, something new begins to sprout. There is evidence of new growth for you, even if the tender green shoots are still tiny. As the gentle, faithful gardener of your own life, support and encourage new growth. Organic growth, not rushing or overtending, yields a better harvest. Okay, so if you picked card number 3, Recognize New Growth, this seems to be a bit of a theme. I know we picked this card at least once in last month in August. So I think there are a few people here as the gentle gardeners of their own life that are really noticing some new growth. Again, it might just be really tender, something that's really young and vulnerable, and you're just kind of looking out and noticing, oh my gosh, there's some tiny green shoots coming up. They're only about an inch high, but wow, this is so exciting. I'm hearing, especially for people who chose card number 3, encouraging that new growth, being excited about it, not just tending it in any practical way you need to, but letting yourself feel hopeful and encouraged and inspired about that new growth is going to be important. Okay, so those are our 3 cards from our Oracle decks, and now we're going to do something really special. This is the Synchronicity flip. So if you watch these videos, you're probably familiar with a synchronicity. It's a meaningful coincidence. So when I flip this book, which I'm going to use my book, Love Notes to Myself, this is my self-love book, and every page has a lovely self-love message. I'm going to flip this, but it won't be a random flip. It will be a meaningful flip that's going to give us a sign and a message for everybody watching this video. So don't worry about picking a number on this. This is for everyone to help inform their self-love, their self-care, and their mindfulness practice for the month of September. So here we go. Still warming up with my palm chakras and ask for a really helpful message. Give it, warm it, warm it. Okay, and here we go. We are flipping for the month of September. Ooh! Love, love, love this. Especially I love this message because I was just talking with someone how, in certain parts of the world, even though it might still be hot, we're starting to feel fall. That month of September when the calendar changes, you really feel fall. And there's a bit of an energetic change. Or if you're in another part of the world, you're really starting to feel spring. And so here is the message that I flipped to. It says, I'm discovering my natural rhythm. So the seasons have their rhythm, but here we all have our own natural rhythm, the rhythm that works best for us in our life. Again, the message for the Synchronicity flip for September is, I'm discovering my natural rhythm. And I'll quickly read this to you. There's a certain rhythm in my days that I like a lot. When I get off that ideal rhythm, I get back on beat as soon as I can. Daily, weekly, and monthly routines keep me feeling more grounded and calm. If I get bored, I approach an old routine in a new way. I notice how the pace and rhythm of my day feels in my body and adjust my routines accordingly. Love that for September. And thank you so much for being here for Awakening Intuition video series for the month of September. We will see you back here next time for a video for the 1st of October. In the meantime, you can get any of my products, sign up for Spiritual Author Academy, or get an intuitive reading with me with the links below. Thank you so much, and I'm wishing you a very peaceful and blessed September.